Hello everybody and welcome to Cucina Stellata or Starred Cuisine, as we will be stepping into the shoes of a solitary writer and gourmet, inspired by the historical figure of Pellegrino Artusi as a midnight snack spirals into the unexpected. 19th century, somewhere in the countryside of Romagna, Italy. Is it Romagna? I feel like it'd be like Romana or something like that. Romana? I feel like the G would be silent. We'll say Romagna. We'll put a real American spin on it. Romagna. I'm sure I'm going to butcher a lot of these pronunciations, so I apologize in advance. I've also been hit by a shooting star. I walk so slow. My little stubby legs. Great harm comes to those who let themselves be conquered by wine. Little by little they grow nauseated by food and find nourishment almost entirely in drink. Thus they degrade themselves in the eyes of the world, becoming ridiculous, dangerous, and beastly. Pellegrino Artusi. Is it, again, is it Artusi? I guess it could be Artusi? I do not know. I'm assuming it's in a, because it's set in Italy. I'm assuming it's all Italian. Move forward, turn right, turn left, volume and exit. I'd like to think I don't need to adjust those, and interact. It's all pretty straightforward. Add the oil to the pan. That looks like wine. Here we go. A little oil. Chop the carrot, onion, and celery and add them into the pan. That's a lot of cutting. Do I? Okay, so yeah, I have to click on it repeatedly. And then we throw it in the pan. Somebody's gonna actually make this meal, right? Chop the meat and add it to the pan. So as of right now, it seems pretty basic. Pour the red wine into the pan. Seems just like a pretty straightforward dish. Grab the tomato sauce from the shelf and add it to the pan. This looks like tomato sauce. Place the tortelli in the pot. Where is... oh. So yeah, I'm just making like a sauce. Right in the notebook. Alright, hang on, let me shuffle around a bit. I would actually like to look around a bit more. Just to see if I can interact with anything, but I don't think I can. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're kind of on rails here. That's fine. They say that curiosity is a dangerous trap, leading man into abysses from which he can never return. It is the same hypocritical world which claims not to care about food that makes no civil or religious celebration without eventually spreading the tablecloth and trying to eat as heartily as possible. Therefore, I say, always choose for your raw materials the finest goods, for these will make an impression. And if this precious fruit of who knows where origin is a rare, as I believe, it must cost as much or even more than truffles. But caution must be exercised with hope and fervor, for hidden prayers already hold future sorrow. I am repulsed by witnessing, as they say, the desecration of God's grace, yet indulgence and appetite are too good. A lovely note you've written before dinner. Add it to the pan. Throw it in. Place the plate the dish. Do I have a plate? Oh, yeah. It slipped my mind. Eat. It's a little crunchy. I think it might not be done. Because I'm pretty sure that was a pasta, right? And I ate a meal so divine, I've been shunted away into a cosmic void Meals like these make me feel like a neophyte in the kitchen and in the art of tasting. Not only the quality, but the sheer delight leaves me astonished and my dreams fulfilled. Its sauce blends with so many dishes, keeping such excellent company that if it's worth the effort to satisfy every curiosity and rekindle the fire and the stoves, to get back to work and plunge like a deep-sea diver in search of the goodness and beauty I adore. I was about to say godness. I often say that one should only return to food when the stomach persistently cries out for help. Yet I inherited almost unbridled erotic instincts from nature, at times nearly ruined my health and everything else. Moreover, if man neither craved food nor experienced sexual stimulation, the human race would soon perish. So here I am again, casseroles, pots, and lids. Open your legs, aromas of the undergrowth, sautés and braids of garlic, for I have returned amongst you. This guy really likes his food, maybe a little too much, you know. Grab the onion, carrot, and celery from the shelf and add it to the pot. He's just making the same dish over and over again. Well, I guess not. He's... Okay, so this is different. It's just the same ingredients. Add the oil to the pan. Wonder what we're gonna do differently. Grab the onion from the shelf, chop them, and add them to the pan. That seems like a lot of onion, carrot, and celery. I'm both boiling it, I guess maybe to make it like a stock? But again, that seems like a lot. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, and cut the meat. Where is my cellar? That's not it. Let me just shuffle on down here. Am I gonna eat an alien? Okay, buddy. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's why I was seeing cosmic stuff. Look, if I cut his leg off, he's just gonna crawl out, you know? What are we cutting? We're cutting a hand. And an arm. It's okay, buddy. You're just being eaten alive. It's perfectly fine. Return to the kitchen and close the door. Couldn't I have just killed it? I feel like... I mean... I understand that I'm probably not much of a butcher, but like... Place the meat on the cutting board and dust it with flour. A light dusting. Add the meat to the pan. Pour the broth from the pot into the pan. Yes, a fine, soup. Pour the tomato sauce into the pan. That alien is gonna be a little upset with, humans. Right in the notebook. I quiver in anticipation and can barely restrain my restlessness. Twitching finger that ceaselessly torments my beard. Torments my bread. As if trying to spread the remnants of a flavor that once passed through it. It is neither sweet, nor bitter, nor sour, nor salty. Perhaps it isn't even a flavor, not really. It's a sensation. An enchanting shiver that sneaks into the mouth and throat. Something slimy and indefinable that leaves behind a brutal echo. An aftertaste that never fades. There's no way to describe it, for no words exist to define it. Bone apple tea. Plate the dish. And get shunted into a cosmic abyss. I mean... Yeah, this guy's just doing drugs, but with extra steps, right? Like, he's making a dish from a questionable source and seeing things. It is certainly a flavor, but not one that human taste has ever experienced before, nor could it ever hope to savor. A shadow that does not exist on the world's taste buds, that seems to feed alternatively and contrary on something within me. Even every other ingredient appears diseased, contaminated by its proximity, producing twisted fruits worth a taste so warped that no one would dare try them, except those who would, unbound by the dogmas and chains imposed by traditional cuisine, claim for themselves a flavor that is not of this world. It is like a painter's discovery of a new color or a chilling nuance, one that seems as though it had always been available, ignored in a remote corner of our darkened iris, atrophied, unaccustomed to surprise and unprepared for shock. You're like licking a toxic toad, basically, and just seeing things. Like, I feel like there's not a good outcome for this. Add oil to the pan. Chop an onion and add it to the pan. I just used the same ingredients. I saw some sausages down there. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, and cut the meat. There was also egg. We could have added some egg. You doing okay, buddy? Yeah, look at all this. I don't know what that is. We have a lot of wine. Okay, what are we harvesting today? Apparently, we're taking some intestine. How are you still alive, by the way? Oh no, we're just taking a nice fillet. Return to the kitchen and close the door. You know, as much as he sounds like he's in horrible agony, maybe he's like, you know, maybe he's chill with the fact that we're partaking. You know? Ah, nice smooth cuts. We don't want to, you know, just dice. We want it nice and cubed. Go to the cellar, grab the white wine, and pour it into the pan. And I could have done this while I was down there. Hey, buddy. Oh, are you dead? Man, turns out missing a leg, an arm, and some of your insides does a number. Well... I mean, I guess... probably for the best. I was 100% expecting him to come back to life. Add the broth to the pan. Write in the notebook. Once it was said that potage was man's fodder. But this one seems more like the fare of angels and devils, ogres, and Nazapegul? I have no idea what that is. Nagalasi and Marmacula, spirits, essence of myth. I feel my stomach gnashing its teeth, eagerly preparing for a bestial feast. I listen to the ancestral call of hunger and distinguish every word it utters. Now, the palate. Now, the colon. Now, even the bile itself, with its acidic tides, and still the shrieking taste buds, singing their clear, piercing notes. As the pleasure unfolds, alas, a vortex rises from the depths of my innards, a force so impetuous, a spasmodic outburst that fills me with understanding and compassion for all those wild, primitive beasts ruled by passion and the violence of flesh. I'm eating an alien. I feel like we need to kind of, you know... You can't do that now. We need to, really let everyone know that. Grab the bread from the shelf and slice it. Spread the meat on the bread. I'm just making a sandwich? Plate the dish. Eventually, something is going to happen to me. Like, this can't be good. This can't be healthy for me. my word, certain laws lie hidden within the nature of taste, such that I could have never imagined. I feel every fiber of my body twisting and writhing, seized by a new sensation with every bite. For this flesh does not belong to the earth, nor does this flavor conform to the human order. After a single, meager taste, such is its power that all other food loses its usual virtues. Wine turns to water, bread crumbles into ash, and even the air seems laden with an imperceptible scent. Nothing washes away the shadow upon my tongue, as if my very body were learning a new way to perceive the world. A way both wrong and forbidden. And yet, what is most terrifying, in the heart of this damp night, with my throat parched and my stomach emptying so swiftly, is that something inside me still longs for that flavor. Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting dosed with, like, drugs. I'm becoming an addict for alien flesh. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, and cut the meat. Yeah, the dishes are becoming simpler. He doesn't care about the other things added. He just wants the meat. It's looking a little rough there, buddy. Straight for the head, huh? We're gonna decide if alien brains is good for us. Put the meat in the pot. I'm surprised he's even cooking it, honestly, at this point. Though it doesn't mention closing the door either. I'm gonna do it anyway. In the pot you go. Write in the notebook. What misfortune, what ill-fated news, O wretched swamp, O foul quagmire, O unholy land that has sheltered me since I was a child. Have you no pity for your own children? You let no food stay wholesome for long, and this one amongst all so sweet and precious, you can barely stand abundance. A curse upon you. I guess that was them trying to say it's gone rotten. Go to the cellar, grab an egg, and place it in the bowl. I'm surprised we're getting an egg. I thought we were just gonna eat a brain. Okay, just wanted to double check. Make sure you didn't, like, come back to life. You know, that's kind of why I have to close it, you know? Add the flour to the bowl. But we're going to, fry it. Add oil to the bowl. Cut the meat. Okay, so we're still kind of preparing it. I thought we were just going to, like, eat brain, you know? Coat the meat with batter. Add the oil to the pan. Write in the notebook. I cannot but entrust myself to fate. May this change in appearance and these vapors, despite the stench, enhance the flavor, as they do for, grappas? What's grappas? Seasoned cheese and cured meats, for I well know that spoiled foods at times hold unexpected effects. True, you don't really know what it would do to it. Plate the dish. But it could make it taste worse. As usually rotten meat does. Never mind, we're still riding that high, I guess. It's still, captivating as always. This time, the taste was like a walk through the height of summer, a murky, tangled path through a flowering garden, where the way was painted in color and breathed fragrance like a dream. In that vast and luminous expanse, it seemed as if the entire course of my life flowed before me. The path opened beneath an arch of dentate ivy. I made my way down a gorge through patches of light and shadow, stepping where the branches parted into pools of golden mucosa. and beneath the trees on my left, indistinct blankets of pharyngeal primroses stretched out like a carpet. The air seemed to lay soft kisses upon my skin. From the deep belly of the wood came a cooing of wild doves, mingled with the warm gastric gurgles of a welcoming brook. Ground there was so overlain with primroses that avoiding them was impossible, as lost as they were in that digestive churn. The sweetness of the air and the green of the fronds dripped with enzymatic liqueurs almost filled me with reverence. At last, I emerged from that garden through an orifice of hedge and brambles, sweaty and disheveled, like a man freshly torn from his mother's womb. This guy's going through a journey. The fact that it sounds like he's like sweating now, he's crumbling. Go to the cellar, cut the meat. There's gonna be nothing left. It turned to dust. Right in the notebook. My alien evaporated. That's a real bummer. Now he's gonna go nuts. In the end, it has left me alone. Yet new energy surges within me, flowing from the top to bottom, carried like a bolus deep into my most hidden bowels. I myself, it seems, am changed. It is the simplest explanation, and yet the wretchedest one. Thus, why shouldn't I have become part of this splendid essence? A link in a metabolic chain that always finds its final rest in the vilest of excretions. Use the bucket in the cellar. Am I gonna eat what remains? It seems like that's kind of like bottom point here. Collect the feces. I mean, yeah, you're a drug addict at this point. You can't control yourself. The fact that he's chopping it is even more insulting. Like, hang on, I have to prep it. Slice the bread. You know, I have to make sure it's palatable, you know, I can't, you know, I don't want to make it, you know, inedible. What am I, an animal? Spread the feces on the bread. And he really goes for the basic one for this, like, maybe you should have added the vegetables. It surprisingly still sends him on a cosmic journey. I figured there'd be at least one that doesn't do that. Though this one is kind of a little warped. Turns out you're not supposed to eat it more than once. What a catastrophe, a sharp biting taste, filthy as a guttered rag, a fading memory of its once pristine purity, perhaps too diluted, the spirit of tastiness and delight is scattered along the way. Perhaps its grace and virtues have surrendered to the stomach, and from there to the flesh entirely. Nothing remains for me now but to surrender to one last attempt. I'm in space. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, and cut the meat. I'm going to eat myself. I probably taste like it, right? Ow. 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 That's my cutting arm. How am I doing this? I don't even know what part of me I cut off. I feel like I'm on a bit of a timer. I'm bleeding out profusely now. Add the meat to the pan. Right in the notebook. My arm has an owie. I notice with a certain astonishment a twitch in my lashes and tears that blur my vision. And yet, by some cruel contradiction, my eyes burn like flames on dry stubble, scorched by their own dryness, like earth cracked by drought, the very drought of the soul which has already drained enough every last tear before it can fall. And thus it happens that, like who gazes too long upon the high sun, finding no haven in the shadows of the night, I feel myself consumed by fire, without a single tear to quench the blaze. Plate the dish. Okay, this one's the simplest one. What journey does this take me on? A violent one. It doesn't seem to be as effective. It doesn't quite work for me. I feel my vigor leaving me, yet I still breathe in the glory of the tasting. Little time remains, and I must make the most of it, so that my final works may take shape. God, spirit, or devil, whoever you are, grant me one last fateful taste. Grant me but a thread of oil over the tepid potage, my very life. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, cut the meat. Everything's getting a little funky in here. Ow. Am I trying to cut my own head off? The alien haunts me. I did a pretty good job. And I was sucked into the void. I wonder if my findings ever got found, you know? They just see a guy in a basement, you know, dead. Because he ate an alien. I'm pretty sure that is the end of the game. I don't know what continuing it will do. Hopefully it just shows the rest of the credits, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a amazing game. It's definitely interesting on how it was extremely repetitive, but it still told a very interesting story. The fact that it progressively, you know, I mean, again, like, I felt like that was kind of the thing. The dishes were getting simpler and simpler because he didn't care about the other aspects of the food. Like he mentioned in his notes, the wine tastes like water. Everything just kind of loses its flavor compared to the alien meat. Which is definitely a very interesting, like, thing of just, you know, I guess it's kind of taking that element from, like, The Color Out of Space, you know, seeing something or experiencing something that is otherworldly is obviously impossible to describe, and so experiencing it via, you know, the fictional, you know, is obviously a very interesting thought. Something that is always going to be interesting in any book, movie, you know, you name it. It's going to be a very interesting story because you have to describe something that is indescribable because it doesn't exist. And so, yeah, like this game, I think, does a pretty good job of kind of showing that through the color and the vision. Highly recommend checking it out for yourself. If you want to play it for yourself or just support the dev, feel free to check it out on the link down in the description below. If you want to support the channel, though, feel free to do so by liking the video, sharing it around, leaving a comment, letting me know what you think about the game. You know, I mean, I feel like the story is pretty straightforward, but I'd love to hear your guys' opinions or thoughts about the game. You know, just the significance of it all and whatnot, or just, you know, I would say, like, I don't know, maybe could this guy have lived a normal life afterwards? Because the guy went pretty much nuts pretty quick, but it's a very strange question to think about. Like, could this have been maybe not prevented, but just halted to some degree? What if he just didn't eat as much alien? But of course, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. I greatly appreciate it, and I can't thank you guys enough for doing it. And hopefully I see you all in the next video. See you then.